Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to getting up to speed on the big topics. And today, wow, we're jumping into something that's moving incredibly fast, artificial intelligence. Specifically, we want to look at its really profound, maybe even transformative impact on the future of Africa. Yeah, and our thinking today is really sparked by this brilliant blog post from Acalytica. It's called AI for Impact, Empowering Africa's Future with Essential Skills. Honestly, it's one of those pieces that just makes you stop and really rethink things. So our mission really is to unpack how AI isn't just, another tech upgrade. It feels more fundamental, like a shift in how we get access to create and even think about intelligence itself. And the big question for us is, what does this huge change mean for people flourishing, especially in places like Africa that are changing so quickly? There's this line from the Acalytica piece that really hooked me. It says, AI collapses time. The real question is whether we collapse with it or leap ahead.
Oh,
That's
kind of statement, isn't it? Powerful stuff.
It really is. And that's what we're going to explore. What happens when intelligence itself becomes, well, incredibly cheap? You'll look at these two very different paths this might open up for Africa. One is this idea of leapfrogging ahead. But there's also another possibility, kind of drifting, maybe falling behind. And crucially, we need to talk about the anchors, the things we need to hold on to make sure this shift leads to empowerment, not dependency.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack that. What does it actually mean for you listening right now when intelligence itself goes from being something scarce, maybe expensive, to something you can just call up on demand? We've sort of been here before, haven't we? I mean, with other big shifts. Revolutions always seem to take something expensive and make it almost free. Think about the steam engine. Suddenly distance wasn't such a barrier. Travel, making goods, much cheaper. Or electricity. It basically got rid of night, right? Changed daily life completely. And the internet, well, it didn't just shrink geography.
No, it collapsed it. Communication barriers just vanished practically overnight.
Exactly. And the Acalytica piece brings up Jeremy Rifkin's point here, how the third and fourth industrial revolutions were really driven by the cost of information dropping to near zero. And it gives this fantastic example. 20 years ago, buying a set of encyclopedias cost a fortune. Today, a kid in a rural village, maybe, can just type a question into a phone.
Yeah.
And access more information than was ever held in, the ancient library of Alexandria.
It's staggering when you put it like that. A total democratization of knowledge.
Right, and this is where AI takes it a step further, a really crucial step. What's so interesting here, as the article points out, is that AI hasn't just kept making information cheap, it's making intelligence cheap. And that distinction is, well, it's everything. Now look, the whole philosophical debate about what real intelligence is, that's huge and complex. We're not solving that today. But for our purposes, the key difference is information is kind of static. It's a fact. Data on a page. It just sits there.
Right.
But intelligence, that's active, right? It doesn't just give you data. It synthesizes it. It explains things. It can generate new solutions. It takes information and actually does something useful with it. Adapts. Solves problems. When that capability gets really cheap and easy to access, well, the whole game changes.
Yeah, you can almost feel it happening now, this intelligence on demand. The article has some great examples, really concrete ones, like want to draft a legal argument, done. Or need a sketch of your business model, instant. Even want a song in Zulu about your grandmother's recipes, here you go. It's not just finding facts anymore. It's about creating specific outputs tailored to you almost immediately.
And the implication there is massive. The Acalytica piece puts it bluntly. When the cost of producing intelligence gets close to zero, the entire economy, education system, and culture reshuffle around it.
Yeah.
This isn't just a new app or gadget. It's like the ground shifting beneath our feet.
Yeah.
We have to rethink everything built on the idea that intelligence is hard to come by or expensive.
So, yeah, if intelligence is suddenly cheap, abundant, what does that really mean for your job, your learning, how you solve problems every day? It's a fundamental question I think we all need to start grappling with.
Okay, let's dig into another really key idea from Acalytica, this concept of time collapse, especially how it impacts education. Traditionally, education has always had this built-in clock, right? We think in terms of 4 years for a degree, maybe 3 for a diploma, or 12 years just for basic schooling.
That structure, yeah. And it wasn't just random, it felt necessary. Teachers needed that time to deliver information, and students needed years, really, to practice, to absorb it all, to show they'd mastered it.
Right, that traditional calendar-based model.
Yeah.
That's exactly what AI just blows up. The blog post puts it so well. AI collapsed time. Suddenly, you can generate examples, explanations, get instant personalized feedback
Mm-hmm.
in seconds. Just think about that. No more waiting days for feedback on an assignment or for office hours to ask a question. That human bottleneck, that waiting time, it just disappears.
Exactly. And it's not about rushing learning necessarily. It's about making it super efficient and personal.
Yeah.
The article suggests, a really motivated student, if they use the right AI tools and kind of direct their own learning, they could potentially pack what used to be a whole semester's worth of learning into like a focused weekend.
That's incredible acceleration.
There really is. It empowers people to learn skills at a speed we couldn't even imagine before.
The contrast is just so stark, isn't it? The old system runs on the calendar, a fixed pace for everyone.
Yeah.
But the new system, with AI, it runs on curiosity. It runs on your own bandwidth. And by bandwidth, we don't just mean internet speed, though that helps. We mean how much you're willing to engage, how deep you want to go, how fast you can actually process and use the information. It's learning set free from the old timelines, driven by your own motivation.
Just imagine the possibilities that opens up for your own learning goals. Mastering new skills, your way, your pace. It feels incredibly empowering, doesn't it? Okay, but this idea of time and cost collapsing, it brings us to this really critical junction, this choice that Acalytica lays out so clearly. It says, when time and cost collapse, two things can happen. One is liberation. The other is dependency. Let's talk about that.
Definitely. Let's start with the positive side, the optimistic path, leapfrogging.
Mm-hmm.
Africa actually has this amazing track record of doing more with less, right? Often by just skipping over older technologies because they had to. The source gives great examples. We never had the luxury of building copper telephone lines to every household.
Right. Too expensive, too slow.
So we skipped ahead to mobile. Same with banking, didn't roll out branches everywhere first, leapt straight into mobile money like M-Pesa. It shows this real agility.
And with AI, the chances to do that again seem huge and really tailored to the continent's needs. Think about hyper-personalization in education. A student in, say, rural Limpopo could get maths tutoring that's just as responsive, just as tailored as the best private teacher in maybe Santon.
Closing that gap.
Exactly. Or think about learning by doing. Instead of just memorizing facts, students can build things, test them, publish them online, fail quickly, improve faster, all with AI feedback loops. And what's really exciting is how AI could boost innovations already happening in Africa. Imagine like M-Pesa, which already changed mobile money, now powered by AI.
Mm-hmm.
It could go way beyond just sending cash. It could offer super personalized financial advice based on your spending, micro investment tips for small farmers maybe, predictive analytics for small businesses in Nairobi.
Things that used to require massive, expensive infrastructure.
Right. Or a young entrepreneur in Lagos gets an idea in the morning. By the evening, AI helps them generate a detailed business plan, market analysis, maybe even a basic working prototype.
So if Africa really embraces AI strategically, with courage, focusing on local needs, the source suggests it could reduce the education to employment gap dramatically. So this isn't just small tweaks. It's about unlocking potential on a massive scale, driving real inclusive growth.
But, and there's always a but with powerful tech, isn't there? The Acalytica article is careful to warn us about what it calls the pessimistic path, drift.
Yeah, and this is a really important warning. AI can also, let's be honest, make us lazy, intellectually lazy. If you just outsource all your thinking, all the hard work to the machine, you stop exercising those cognitive muscles, the very things that make us human thinkers. The article uses that great analogy. A calculator doesn't make you better at arithmetic if you never learn to count first.
Right, the tool becomes a crutch.
Exactly. Not a lever for improvement, just something to lean on. And there are some specific dangers if we just sort of drift into using AI without thinking critically. First, there's this cognitive offloading. The mindset of, the machine will figure it out for me, or I'll just let ChatGPT draft my essay.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's what the article calls AI sycophancy. That's when tools are designed, maybe unintentionally, to just flatter you. They give you answers you like or confirm your biases instead of the accurate, maybe challenging information you actually need to learn and grow.
Ooh, that's a subtle danger.
It really is. And maybe the biggest one, the risk of entry-level collapse. Think about it. If all those starter tasks, writing first drafts, basic data analysis, initial research, simple coding, get automated, where do young graduates get their start? How do they build those foundational skills needed for more complex jobs later on?
So instead of leapfrogging ahead, we could actually see a kind of hollowing out of essential skills across a whole generation. We could end up training people just to consume AI outputs, not to really create meaning or question things or innovate themselves, which brings us back to that critical choice. Which path are we collectively going to take?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And this brings us right to the heart of Acalytica's argument, the difference between that optimistic path and the pessimistic one. It's not actually about the AI tools themselves. It's about us. It's about people. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's about finding those invariants, the core human principles, the values, the capabilities that don't change, even when the tech around us is changing at lightning speed.
And the article gives us 5 really crucial anchors to help navigate this. These aren't just like nice ideas. They feel like essential principles for making sure this works for people.
Absolutely essential. These anchors are what can ensure AI actually serves human flourishing in Africa, instead of just making existing problems worse or creating new ones. Let's quickly go through them. First, purpose first. This means AI has to serve broader human goals, community well-being, not just efficiency for its own sake or profit for a select few. We have to ask, is this AI tool really improving lives or just optimizing a process without real benefit? If you don't start with purpose, AI can easily optimize for the wrong things.
Makes sense. What's next?
Second, participation. Learners, communities. They can't just be passive consumers of AI stuff spat out from somewhere else. They need to be active creators, shaping the tools, customizing them, maybe even building them. Imagine a farming community using AI collaboratively to design irrigation systems perfectly suited to their local soil, their climate, not just using a generic AI model.
Local ownership, basically.
Exactly. Third, critical agency. This is huge. It's about teaching and practicing the skill of questioning what the machine tells you. Don't just accept the output. Ask. Is it biased? Is it accurate? Does it make sense in my context? Challenge its recommendations. Keep the human firmly in the loop, making the final calls. Fourth, culture matters. This is so vital for Africa. The continent's incredible diversity of languages, local contexts, values must be part of the AI system.
Otherwise, they just won't work properly, right?
Or worse, they'll impose outside values. An AI trained only on Western data might completely miss the nuances of a local language or misunderstand social interactions vital to a community. We need AI built with African data, by African developers, reflecting African realities. That prevents the tech feeling alienating. And fifth, ethical measurement. Look, AI often tracks our interactions, we know that. If it's going to do that, it must be done transparently and with the clear goal of empowering the user, not just extracting data for profit or control. People need to understand how their data is being used for their benefit. Trust and agency are key.
So these anchors, they really feel like the guardrails, don't they? They're your guideposts as a user, as a creator, as a community member in this new landscape.
Yeah.
Making sure AI becomes a tool to build with, to lead with, not something that leads to dependency or, unintended harm. Okay, let's quickly recap some of those really punchy, quotable truths from the Acalytica piece. They nail the key takeaways. First, AI hasn't just made information cheap. It has made intelligence cheap. That's the game changer.
The fundamental shift.
Second, AI collapses time. The question is whether we collapse with it or leap ahead. That stark choice we face.
Like the fork in the road.
And third, maybe most importantly, AI will not decide Africa's future. Africans will if we anchor it with purpose.
Yeah, that puts the power, the agency, right where it belongs. And we need to stress, this isn't some abstract future discussion. It's not sci-fi. As the article says so powerfully, AI is here, ambient, in every phone, every app, every click. It's woven into our lives now. And its impact right now is either going to start eroding the skills we need, or it's going to massively accelerate our ability to build new ones and leap forward. The choice is immediate. The consequences are immediate.
So this brings us to a direct call to action for you listening, something really inspired by Acalytica's insights. Don't be intimidated. Don't sit on the sidelines. Start using AI. Experiment. Play with it. Push its limits. See what it does well. See where it fails. Learn by doing. Break things. Fix things. Get involved. Contribute your perspective to how it develops ethically.
Because the future here, the difference between leapfrogging and drifting, it won't be decided in Silicon Valley or some faraway tech hub. It's going to be decided right here. In Johannesburg, in Nairobi, in Lagos, in Cairo, in communities all across the continent. And it depends entirely on whether we use these incredibly powerful new tools to participate, question, and create, always guided by purpose. That's where the transformation happens.
The cost of intelligence has collapsed. That's the reality. What you do with that reality next, how you choose to participate, to question, to create, that won't just shape your own future. It will play a part in determining whether we collectively fall behind or whether we truly lead what comes next.